Baxia, especially because of the mobility and trying to and this idea for crowd control situation, a control situation for a Baxia. But we are seeing here now the first ban is in carry for a DreamMax. Okay, Zablax is not allowed to take the 0, and now Infinity said, okay, here you are not allowed to use Zonshin, Zina.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we're gonna take that out, thanks. I thought maybe, hey, maybe they had something that they could have gave it to them and they knew a way to stop her, but I guess not. They're like, no, she's out.
Yeah, Marcel's another one that's kind of high on my list there as well. Despite the win rate, I feel like Marcel's still...
I don't get it.
You don't get why he's banned or his win rate right now?
Yeah, I think both, you know? Why does... Okay. The rate of the banning rate and the win rate, because as we were saying in the last 2 days in the AMER North, every time that he was picked up, the result was not so good, you know, like there was not in favor for the team, you know, because I don't know if you agree with me, guys, but for me, Marcel, I think that he can be a two-side situation, you know, he can be a very strong ally, but he can be a very strong enemy at the same composition and the whole team.
Exactly.
Yes, because okay, by the time he has a very strong controlling and engage and disengage too, but it can work against the team if he using an ultimate outside of the time, outside of the tempo here for the allies. It can harm the friends, it can harm the allies here in a possible team fights, in a possible hard engage from the enemy, you know. So that's why I don't get it. I don't get it so much why Marcel has 100 priority here so far.
For me, the priority comes with heroes that have abilities that have timers on them. I'm talking like a Phantom Steed or something that if you freeze them, I've seen it, and that's a big use against the Phantom Steed, is where you go ahead, you put down that golden hour, suddenly the golden hour fades, you've got about 2 more seconds left of your ultimate that just completely got wasted. I agree with you that I feel like especially right now in AMER, we're kind of at a point where we can understand his strengths, that he's got a high ceiling. I just don't know if we're at the point where our compositions are really shining with him yet, especially I think he's at a 0% win rate when he has been picked right now. So but he's still people acknowledge what he represents. We're gonna be a first timer getting a Baxia picked up here. He's actually been a very high priority here in the South when it comes to a lot of the bans, so it's very interesting to see him get picked up now. And on the other side, Fredrin and Uranus picked up
looking very
for Infinity.
Yeah, so I think that one of the reasons that the Boxer has this high priority here, not only because of for example, and the juggler has a very high, he has a very fast, a clear wave here, like a very fast pathway from the jungle, but the possibility of the flexibility for Baxia, you know, because depending on the draft is going on, you know, so maybe this Baxia can go to the XP lane or the jungler or the roaming, you know, as we're seeing here, at least in the last seasons, many teams using this this opportunity, you know, so they choose Baxia and they see what happens in the rest of the composition, you know, and depending on the rest of the composition, and say, okay, Baxia is going jungler, okay, Baxia is going XP, you know. I don't think that this is happening here in this composition, because you are all seeing Kalia that has a high possibility and a high probability to go in the roaming, okay, only roaming. I don't see Kalia in other role here. Claude in a gold lane, while Infinity here responding with Moskov. Yeah, first time here so far in the first day, Fredrin and Uranus. And I'm going to tell you, Zina, I'm not surprised if this Uranus comes in jungle.
Why?
Uranus we can see here so many times, Private, runners coming in the XP laner, you know, but sometimes it comes in the jungle. Okay, we have Fredrin. Okay, Hugo, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? We already have Fredrin in that composition. But who knows? Maybe Infinity can blow our minds with that idea to change role so far. Maybe it's a possibility.
What's your thoughts, Private?
Well, I feel like Uranus, the biggest appeal for Uranus in the jungle is when you have a Fredrin on the other side. I kind of question I don't think that's why this was picked up, or what the plan was for Uranus. There's obviously something in mind, because they weren't afraid of Uranus going into the jungle position for DreamMax, because you already had the Boxia out there. So it's a very interesting
Okay, I like this.
My goodness.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's when, because Kimmy was picked up, so they were like, oh no, we're gonna have to stop that.
That's actually kind of amazing. There's not a lot. I think that has to be solely for the Kimmy, because I don't really know. Does her shield stop the blazing duet? I don't think so.
Yeah, it stops some of the hits, I think. Yeah, so like it could, block the hits.
I'm not that sure, but I'm sure that it reflects, you know, the projectiles coming from Kimmy.
Yeah.
You know, the blazing duet's a very good question.
Well,
that's like the only use I see of the shield right now, so it would be very interesting. Maybe it's a comfort pick for Fanboy.
Well, I feel like it would make sense. Kimmy is like, she can keep shooting and not stop, so it would be very helpful to just kind of block that for a bit, just to help the team.
Okay, so welcome everybody once again to the Land of Dawn. We are seeing the second game, DreamMax versus Infinity. It is only the second best of 3 so far for today. It is 1-0 for Infinity, so let's go, Private.
Yeah, we're gonna see if this actually pays off in dividends. I want to say, like, for me, Uranus, he's one of my favorite XP laners next to Lapu, but he's kind of fallen off in the meta due to the fact that he's just kind of tanky. And he has his place in a niche place against a Fredrin in a jungle position. But when it comes to I just feel like sometimes when it comes to like being in a roam, or not a roam, in an XP, there can be better options for setting potential. Ooh, we see all that reflective damage actually coming, but it's actually might be enough to take down Fanboy, and Chaekite actually not able to get the finishing touch, even with the shield out there bouncing and reflecting a lot of that damage back at Chaekite's Kimmy, still able to put on a worthy amount of damage.
It was like nothing happened. I think that Lolita raised the shield and said, okay, where's the damage? I think the damage was totally for Lolita, at least in the first minute here. But now both teams are heading up for the bottom lane and just waiting for the first turtle. And DreamMax here is up to something. Oh, what a nice reflex here, Private.
Yeah, Fanboy saw that coming from a mile away, able to dash herself away. So, I mean, it's been a while since we've seen a Lolita out there.
Yeah,
So, so it's going to be very interesting. I do like the setting potential from it. It's been so long since we've seen that actually come into play. So I'm very interested to see how it goes here. As we do have a lot of damage going on to Roos. He's going to find himself an escape. We do have the real world manipulation down there. King able to find a kill onto Roosy. The reset of the turtle as Blink, looking for a little bit of an escape, gets a little bit of that health back. The rest of Infinity looking to back off. Fanboy in there taking a little bit of damage. ZZ able to scoop up the turtle, and that is a little bit of a linger there for DreamMax. They were able to push away Infinity, but ultimately ZZ able to come in, find that retribution. Yeah,
Zablak's ultimate here was just a little bit late. But that's okay, because the first turtle was guaranteed by Infinity, and I think that Blink didn't want to do the front line, because he was with a very low HP, and he was like he was working the stack from this buff, like gaining. Oh, here it comes!
Oh, big damage, and down goes a fanboy. That's kind of been one of the problems and why you don't see Lolita very high up on the tanky echelon there, is because despite that shield, despite the fact that her passive gives the rest of her team and her a little bit of shield, she is pretty squishy for what is supposed to amount to a frontline tank for your team right now. And DreamMax there taking full advantage of that.
Yeah, 2-0 here for DreamMax. So far, almost 4 minutes in the second game. Now we're seeing Infinity heading up in the bottom lane once again with 4 players. Maybe trying to, only 38 seconds remaining for the next turtle. Now we have Rusi here versus 2 players. We have Jumpstyle making the path with Boxia. And now ZZ can be surprised, and Blink always in the grass here trying to get this info. But now he has the information. He knows that the most part of the team of Infinity is in the river in the bottom lane here, just waiting for the next turtle, while Jumpstyle is still doing the path, is still guaranteeing the buffs and the resources for this possible team fight for the next turtle, which is very important for DreamMax, because the first one was for Infinity.
Yeah, I mean, they did all that work. They were even able to get a kill. Ooh, actually, speaking of kill here, they actually might be able to get down ZZ right before the turtle, and that is just not what you want if you are Infinity. Rusi's still trying to look for an opportunity, but look at all the damage going on there from Kite. Getting that passive stacked up there. Rusi comes in, putting on a lot of damage. Kiting in comes the Moskov. Nope, Jumpstyle able to get the retribution there. That was actually a little bit scary there, probably for DreamMax. I was wondering if he was going to kind of come in from that SOD, but decided to stay safe. It wasn't worth it. Live to fight another day. 3-0 in favor of DreamMax.
Yeah, and my head was like, hey, I got the ultimate, guys. Don't come. Please don't come. It was a bad idea. It is a bad idea for you to come. But now DreamMax is trying to do something in the top lane here. Oh, here comes once again Private. Ooh. Yeah,
big stomp there onto the backside, fanboy with the shield, the Guardian shield. Ooh, and able to take down with a Praiser's Wrath is ZZ coming in from the back there. We do have a blazing duet from Chimera, and fanboy taking a heap of damage, and Kite very wisely stopping the damage as soon as that Guardian's reflection goes up.
Yeah, I was like, I was about to ask why the focus on Blink here, especially versus Fredrin, but the idea was, and I believe that because Jumpstyle got the flank and neutralized Ivy, but once again here in the purple buff.
Ooh, yeah, you could see them come in there now. Zablat actually in a little bit of trouble. We do have the real world manipulation down. King in a little bit of trouble, cannot escape, barely gets out of the limitations of that RWM. No worse for wear, both guys. Ooh, Jumpstyle is just not done with this fight. He might think twice about that. He's got 4 members. Numenor Blast able to find the stun. Is it going to be enough? We do have that reflection coming out.
No way.
Might be down for the count, but they are able to return it in favor onto fanboy. Rusi next on the dock, looking for a zigzag. Can he get away? He's not able to. Blink with the finishing touches. Next is ZZ, and now a flicker onto Lionel under the tower. Is he going to be able to find themselves another kill there? Kite is on fire right now, still 1-0-5, but having a great time at the front of that fight.
Yeah, Jumpstyle didn't survive the last team fight, but he gained so much time for DreamMax to respond back here, guarantee 3 more kills for the Dragon Boys. You know, but now we have another turtle. Wait, what was that for ultimate from Zaplax here? Who was trying to find someone? Okay.
I guess he's just trying to let them know he's still there. A little bit of let them know I am still down here. Blazing Duet comes in here. Oh, a little bit of it does get reflected. Lionel going ahead and put a little bit of a slow. Real world manipulation is down. We do have the bravest fighter stance coming in. King finds a kill onto Lionel. Oh, he does miss that stun there on the backside. Kite might be in a little bit of problem. Gets hit with a spear against the wall, but DreamMax doing a great job steady on that turtle. Jumpstyle scoops up an uncontested turtle.
Yeah, the gold lady here almost heading for the 5K in favor for DreamMax. Another turtle. And always the players from DreamMax here, like doing some kind of cosplay of Highlander, always surviving. Almost immortals here for DreamMax. as we see now the items here, the corrosion for Moskov, but instead of, we are seeing Golden Staff and Demon Hunter for Quag, especially with the Blazing Duet. But here comes once again the ultimate from Blink, focusing his eye, and the execution was perfect, Private Dancer.
Yeah, what a great tsunami slam to take them away from the tower, and then that allows King to come in with the bravest fighter stance and then find the ult and the stun to be able to take down Lionel. I was almost kind of questioning, I'm like, it didn't look like any of the team was in position after that tsunami slam, but King closed the distance very quickly. So it's just great understanding from the team. And now DreamMax putting the boots down onto the tower, getting a tier 2 bottom lane. Now looking for a little bit of engagement here. Blazing Duet onto the back line, takes down Sublot from underneath the tower. A tsunami slam, but Fanboy looking for the escape, but Kite right there with a double kill to clean it up. 12-2 for DreamMax.
Kite, take my money, take my energy. What are you doing in this game so far for DreamMax here? And we are talking about, like, we're talking about Blink. This roamer, which is a former player, which is a former champion also in RRQ Akita, the old RRQ Akita, that won the MPL 4 times in a row. But now we're seeing DreamMax always causing pressure, Private.
Yeah, another tsunami slam comes, catches ZZ, and down he goes. Fanboy's gonna look for an escape as Blink comes in, followed by King with another ultimate on that Lapu Lapu. They are just being surgical when it comes to being able to get these tsunami slams, get the damage on, and blow up the opposition. Now you don't have a retribution for this Lord fight. You can't even contest.
Yes, 8 games here in the goal lead for DreamMax. No contest, no fight back in this Lord for DreamMax. It is totally different from the first game. I think that Infinity here is having some issues to find a flank or find a back line here, especially to trying to neutralize the Claude or maybe Kimi, you know, but it still is very difficult because even though they both have some kind of ability, so it's not so easy. It's not so... Oh, here they come again!
Yeah, another tsunami slam comes in there. Blazing Duet onto the back line. The down goes Fanboy, easy, and Lionel are down. 4 people down immediately. Zablot, I'm not sure where he is on the map. Yeah, he's right there underneath tower. Does not want to get involved in this fight to give them a clean sweep of his team. But you can see the rest of the team. They're looking for an answer, looking to close this up. And another tsunami slam, but Zablot able to get away from it. SOD comes out, but it's not going to be enough to save the core.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy for a DreamMax here in the second game. My goodness. The first one, it was about in 17 minutes for Infinity, and this second one is about 11 minutes for the DreamMax. Xena, so fast, so clean.
It was so fast. They dominated so quickly. The rotation of the jungle and the roam was on point. You know, they were just demolishing and clearing things out, and it was just amazing to watch.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when we're looking back on the, I'm not sure, the Lolita pick, it almost in an answer right from the beginning. I was like, what is Lolita going to be able to provide? I know she's going to be able to reflect. Is that going to be enough? And I feel like right from the opening gate, when you have Kimi come in, and right up came the Guardian's reflection, but still Lolita got bursted down to about almost 10%, had to turn away. I'm like, well, I feel like this is a little bit of an omen of things to come here. Like, yes, it was able to reflect, but maybe it just didn't actuate the way they thought it would on paper.
Yeah, but here comes here now the stats from the second game here. 17 kills for DreamMax versus only 2 for Infinity. And I agree with you, Private, especially about this Lolita pick. And I go further because I think that if Lolita comes with the Flicker instead of the Purify here, I think that will give that would give more opportunity for Fanboy here to try to do something, especially with the ultimate combo with Flicker, you know. So without the Flicker, with the Purify, he's not allowed to do many things about that, you know, because the ultimate from Lolita, okay, you have a very interesting AoE with this ultimate, but it is still static. You know, like okay, you are not allowed to go somewhere with the ultimate. You know, so if you bring the ultimate with the flicker here, you have like more breaches, more opportunities to work so well with this Lolita. But it didn't work. It didn't happen for Infinity, and they lost the second game with a very good composition. Not only with a very good composition, DreamMax knew what they had to do in the second game, especially neutralize Ivy. We saw many things jump style with Boxia neutralizing here Ivy with especially with the ultimate. So we didn't see Ivy using the ultimate so many times or so much effective for Infinity. So DreamMax here knew what they had to do and knew what they were doing, especially with the Blink. There's a very aggressive roamer, especially playing with Kalia, always searching the right focus, the right peak off here, guaranteed this advantage for DreamMax to win the second game. Private.
Yeah, Private. What
Okay.
is?
Oh yeah, I mean, you can see here. I mean, they got off to a little bit of a good start here, but eventually it was just so overwhelming. Even when it came to being able to the tsunami slams, being able to find their targets, there just was not an answer to be able to kind of save a lot of their players or to be able to kind of protect them. A Blink here being able to get Rusi, especially as we move into the back end, you see real world manipulation. King comes in, able to really be able to dish out a ton of damage, and I think we're about to see that tsunami slam from underneath the tower. Yeah, and then in comes the Lapu Lapu to be able to kind of put on the damage. I feel like the combination at the beginning of it, where we had a Uranus pick up and the Fredrin, I don't know if that paid dividends either. Uranus does take a few items that he's going to need to be able to kind of get to that tankiness, but then there's a reason that Uranus isn't, I want to say, top tier S tier meta pick in the XP lane, because he doesn't really provide a lot of CC. There just was no answer. Once somebody grabs that, and that's a big thing when you have a Kalea on the enemy team. Once she grabs somebody and has a tsunami slam, what is your answer? And I don't think that was answered here as we take a look at the MVPs.
Oh, our MVP is Shy Kai. Oh, female MVP in the mid lane. I just gotta say, she did an amazing job and did the damage. She did a lot of continuous damage for the team and made sure she was in there for those team fights as well, staying far behind. Her positioning was amazing and impeccable. She was a key factor for sure.
Yeah, she was very positive here. She was very effective with Kimi in the mid lane here, working with this Marksman, which has a very good mobility also. But now we are heading for the highlights in the second game here. Once again, talking about how fast and how clean was for DreamMax, especially working this with this composition idea with Blink with the ultimate here with the Tsunami, or King also neutralizing Ive also here with a lot of